Capuchin TV.
Forward ever, backward never. Let us move ahead and so on. Even children, kuna kakitu tunaweza kufanya ili kanisa iweze kumetameta.
Endelea kutazama Capuchin TV, kitambulisho Katoliki.
Hello and welcome to today's Catholic Focus Bulletin. I'm Susan Bulemi and our sign language interpreter is Hezron Otieno. On today's bulletin, we cover matters concerning healthcare, education, and a call for fight against corruption. We begin with matters education, whereby parents in Kakamega County have urged the government to address teacher shortages and provide adequate learning resources to support the effective implementation of the competency-based education curriculum. Onuso Yvonne has the full details.
Parents in Kakamega County have urged the government to ensure schools are adequately resourced and that the shortage of teachers is addressed to allow for the effective implementation of the competency-based education curriculum. Speaking in Butere during a Form 4 parents meeting, the parents led by Jael Gudu said the lack of sufficient learning resources such as books and equipment could hinder the full rollout of the curriculum.
Wanafunzi wengi ambao wamechagua hii shule yetu, that also inakujanga na a demand of resources, facilities, vitabu za CBC ukweli hatujapata, bado hazijatufikia, and we know that will in turn affect the syllabus delivery.
Gudu, who doubles up as Butere Girls PTA, say the school currently has a shortage of teachers, asking the government to intervene and ensure schools have enough teachers.
We are targeting 98 THC teachers, lakini as it stands now, tuko na around 59. So unaona bado tuko na gap kwa the number of walimu ambao tunahitaji. If we get the full 98 THC teachers, inamaanisha hata walimu wenye wanaingia wakitoka itaisha, kwa sababu huyu atakuja kama ako settled, anajua yeye amekuja kufanya kazi, amekuja kuhakikisha Butere remains the best school. So we are also pleading, as tunasema pia resources zitumwe za vitabu, kuhakikisha dormitories zetu as state of the art dormitories, state of the art classes. Tunaomba pia kama walimu pia tunaweza pata more teachers so that we hit our target of 98 TSC teachers. Ndio pia tutulie kama wazazi, tunajua hakuna kusonga ya mwalimu. Tunajua walimu wako watahandle grade 10, watahandle form 3 na watahandle form 4. So it's also a good it's also our request kama wazazi and as a school.
They also called on fellow parents to enroll their learners in schools of their choice and ensure they are adequately prepared and equipped to remain in school. Reporting for Catholic Focus, my name is Onuso Yvonne.
And in matters concerning health, residents of Juja constituency in Kiambu County are raising concerns over limited access to quality healthcare services, blaming frequent referrals and incomplete facilities at Gashororo Health Center for delays in treatment. The residents are now urging the county government to speed up the ongoing upgrade of the facility into a fully fledged level 4 hospital. Here is our reporter Lillian Kimanthi with a full report.
Accessing healthcare remains a daily struggle for many residents of Juja constituency, who say the lack of essential medical services at Ngachororo Health Center is forcing them to travel long distances for treatment. For Rosemary Nyambura, the situation became urgent when her daughter required a section with no surgical theater at the local facility the family had no choice but to rush to Ruiru Level 4 Hospital, several kilometers away, to safely deliver the baby.
Daktari ndiye alikuwa wa kwanza kufika hapa Ruiru kuja kuokoa maisha ya huyo msichana anaitwa Maureen. Na kwa saa hii tunaongea hivyo amewekwa damu sababu ilitoka kwa daktari na mtu mwingine moja ambao waliweza kutufanikisha kutupea damu.
Another resident, Immaculate Nyambura, recounts a similar experience. She was recently forced to seek laboratory services outside Juja after discovering that the tests she needed were unavailable.
Mimi kama mkazi wa Juja, kuna mashida mingi tunapitia, especially hiyo pande ya hospitali. Unapata like maternity hakuna, vitu kama laboratory hakuna, unatuma place mbali, of which sometimes hauna hiyo fare kwenda mbali. And then after that, mtu kama tuseme mtu amepatia uchungu kwa nyumba, alafu hakuna hospitali karibu, so automatically hiyo mtu anaweza lose mtoto haraka sana.
Their concerns are echoed by Ruiru-based physician Dr. Joseph Kichui, who has handled several referred patients. He says Juja's growing population deserves a well-equipped hospital that can adequately meet its healthcare needs.
And as much as I was glad about the outcome, it pains me, deeply pains me, to have that knowledge that we could do this in Juja. But unfortunately, we do not have the facilities. Unfortunately, we do not have the equipment that would allow for a lady not to need to travel 20 kilometers on rough roads, terrible terrain, to come all the way to Ruiru. I love the outcome, but it should never be this hard. It should never cost a woman that much. She's lucky in the sense that I was able to see or notice her issue on social media, and I was able to catch it in advance to do something about it. But there are so many Jujarians that do not get that opportunity.
Currently, the county government is upgrading Gachororo Health Center into a level 4 hospital. The 200-bed facility, now about 80% complete, is expected to serve nearly 500,000 people in Juja sub-county once operational. Upon completion, the hospital will offer outpatient and inpatient services, maternity care, radiology, a modern laboratory, and 2 fully equipped surgical theaters. A move residents hope will finally bring quality healthcare closer to home. Reporting for Catholic Focus, I am Lilian Kimanthi.
And as we move to the Western Kenya regions, operations at Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology could be disrupted following a growing standoff between staff unions and the University Council over alleged interference in the institution's management. The University Academic Staff Union, UASU, and the Kenya University Staff Union have accused the Council of overstepping its mandate, intimidating employees, and referring staff members to external investigative agencies instead of relying on internal governance structures. The unions now warn that the escalating dispute could cripple services and destabilize learning at the Western Kenya-based university if urgent action is not taken. Let's take a look.
Ofisi ya auditor ofisi yetu ya MUST on internal audit tunaweka kwa notice if they are not going to remain forthright and professional, tutakuja kuingia huko na kutoa watu kwa hiyo ofisi, kwa sababu tunataka kila mtu akuwe na haki yake. Tunataka kwa sababu appeals imefika kwa kanzo na kanzo mula wao huko karibu kutamatika, waitishe hizo appeals tumaliza nazo hapa ndani, wasikimbie kupeleka maneno huko nje, na kuna mambo mengi tu ambayo nitakana tusuluhishe tukiwa kwenye chuo chetu kikuu. Otherwise, we as leaders tunasema kwamba tuko tayari kukaa kwenye meza so long as haki ya wafanyakazi wetu iweze kuwekwa kibao mbele na haki iweze kutendeka.
The same member is supposed to respond to the same issues to 2 other bodies. The DCI, where they have already appeared, and now the ESCC, which has summoned the Vice Chancellor to provide documents that they are going to use to interrogate our members. So our members are clearly suffering from double jeopardy. These are members who cannot work very well because of the burdens that have been placed upon them by being investigated for the same alleged offense by 3 bodies. Council, which is supposed to be the last appellate body before we can escalate the matters to other external bodies, has not taken any action, neither have they written any letter to us. On the matter of staff disciplinary, therefore, we are insisting, Council has not enabled us to conclude the process because we have never met, they have never responded to our letters.
Baraza la chuo kikuu limeendelea kuingilia utendakazi wa wasimamizi katika chuo. Na kwa sababu hiyo, baraza la chuo limesahau majukumu yake na kuonekana kuegemea majukumu ambayo yanafanyika kila siku chuoni. Jambo hili limeleta ukosefu wa mwelekeo.
Moving on, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is now rallying faith communities to take a frontline role in the fight against corruption, describing integrity as a moral responsibility that goes beyond laws and enforcement. EACC Chairperson David Oginde has challenged Christian professionals across the country to stand firm against corruption continues to undermine development, weaken institutions, and erode public trust. Speaking during the Ecumenical Prayer Breakfast 2026, while addressing members of the Kenya Christian Professional Forum, Oginde urged believers to use their influence in workplaces, government offices, and the private sector to promote transparency, accountability, and ethical leadership. He emphasized that lasting change can only be achieved when citizens, especially people of faith, collectively reject corruption and champion values-driven governance. And that story on the fight against corruption brings us to the end of today's edition of the Catholic Focus. Thank you for watching. I'm Susan Bulemi, and our sign language interpreter has been Hezron Otieno. Until next time, be blessed.
Keep watching Capuchin TV, your staunchly Catholic identity channel. You are watching Capuchin TV. For any complaints, comments, or compliments on our programming, you can either write to us on info@capuchintv.co.ke or you can call us directly on 0717 424 866. Your complaint shall be addressed within 7 days. Remember to keep a copy of your communication with us. Keep watching Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity.